Okay, so today we're going deep on early childhood education.
Ooh.
It feels like everyone's got an opinion on it,
Yeah.
and there are a ton of resources out there.
So many.
But honestly, it can be kind of overwhelming to sort through it all.
Oh, for sure.
That's why we're doing this deep dive
I love it.
to help you get a handle on what really matters most in ECE.
Yes.
And we're going to be using this text called pasted text as our guide.
Sounds good.
So basically, we're tackling the big question.
Yeah, okay.
Why is early childhood education so important?
Right.
And what actually makes an ECE program high quality? What should parents and educators be looking for?
Great question.
Now, I know you're an expert in this field,
I've been in it a while.
so tell me,
Yeah.
why are these early years,
Like 0 to 8.
yeah, 0 to 8,
So crucial for development. Okay, so those first 8 years are just massive for
Sure.
development. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
You've got cognitive
they're
development.
learning how to think,
Right. And, social, emotional.
like how to interact with other people,
Absolutely. How to manage your emotions.
Uh-huh.
All of that.
and physical milestones, too.
Oh, yeah.
Like just
Those-
learning skills.
Learning how to move.
Yeah, all that stuff is happening so rapidly during that time.
It's like the brain is just
Like a sponge,
a sponge.
soaking it all up.
Yeah.
And it's really setting the stage
Right.
for everything that comes later.
It's like building a house,
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need a strong foundation.
You can't build a skyscraper on sand.
Exactly.
And this is the foundation.
And what blew my mind reading this text
What was it?
was how much ECE is linked to future success
Oh, yeah.
and not just getting good grades in school.
It's so much bigger than that.
Right.
It's like their whole life.
Yeah.
Social skills, well-being.
Mm-hmm.
You might be surprised just how strong that link is.
Yeah. There was this study mentioned in the text. Oh, yeah. I think I know the one you're talking about.
In Chicago,
Yes.
they followed this group of kids
Mm-hmm.
who participated in this really high-quality ECE program.
Okay.
And get this,
Yeah.
they were 20% less likely to be arrested by the time they turned 25.
That is incredible.
I know.
Really shows you the power of early intervention.
Like ripple effects
Exactly.
across their whole life.
Through their whole life,
Yeah.
across society.
Right.
Yeah, it's not just about the individual.
It impacts everyone.
Yeah, for sure.
So, okay,
Yeah.
we're talking about quality.
Right.
What are we talking about?
Well, the tech?
Yeah. Yeah, it mentioned some key components,
Uh-huh.
but like,
Okay.
what does that look like?
In a real classroom?
Yeah, if I walked into a great ECE setting,
Yeah. What would you see?
what would I see?
Well, first thing you'd notice,
Yeah.
the teachers are engaged. They're passionate.
Okay.
They get child development.
Not just like reading from a textbook.
Oh, no, they're way beyond that.
Right.
They're creating this
Yeah.
nurturing environment,
Where kids feel safe
safe to explore,
Right.
to experiment.
and to learn through play.
Oh, absolutely. Play is huge.
So I'm picturing
Yeah.
hands-on activities.
Yes, lots of those.
Open-ended questions.
Getting those little brains thinking.
It's just like a
Yeah.
ton of encouragement.
You got it.
Now,
Yeah.
the text also talked about
Uh-huh.
how different countries approach ECE.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, whoa.
I know. It's fascinating.
So many different ways to do this.
It really is.
Can you tell me a bit about...
Some of the global models?
Yeah.
Well, you've got some countries like
Okay.
Scandinavia.
Uh-huh.
They have universal ECE.
Meaning...
Everyone has access. It's a
Yeah.
right. It's publicly funded.
Wow.
They see it as a right for all children.
When you have places like
Yeah.
the U.S.,
Yeah.
more of a...
Mixed bag.
Yeah.
Public, private, nonprofit.
A patchwork.
Yeah, different levels of access.
And I imagine quality, too.
Definitely quality varies.
Yeah.
Depending on where you are.
So thinking about the U.S. then,
Yeah.
what are some of the...
Challenges
Yeah.
to having universal, high-quality ECE.
Well, the text mentioned some roadblocks. Like, what are the biggest things we're up against?
Funding, it's a big one.
Okay.
It takes money to do this, right?
Makes sense.
You need well-trained teachers,
Yeah.
good facilities,
Yeah.
enriching materials.
All of that costs money.
It does.
And it's an
A
investment.
long-term investment.
Right. It's not.
Not a quick fix.
Right.
Sometimes it's hard to prioritize that.
When there's so many other things.
Yeah, demanding attention,
And then there's also the issue of,
access.
yeah, making sure.
Where all children can participate. The ones who need it most.
Right, like underserved communities.
Exactly.
So it sounds like it's not just about what happens
In the classroom.
Right.
It's bigger than that.
Yeah.
Parents,
Communities?
everyone working together.
Absolutely.
The text really emphasized that, like, parents and the community have such a big role.
Oh, yeah.
What does that look like practically?
It starts at home.
Right.
Like, that's where learning begins.
Yeah.
So things like parent education programs.
Okay.
Access to health and social services.
Making sure families have what they need.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And just creating safe, stimulating environments.
Community.
Like play spaces.
Parks, libraries, all of that. Yeah, all of that contributes.
So it really is.
The village.
Yeah.
It takes a village.
Okay, so we've talked about
We've covered a lot.
how important ECE is.
It's foundational.
Yeah. And what makes a program high quality.
See how much goes into it.
But I keep thinking about how fast the world is changing.
With technology, it's moving so quickly.
And the text brought up this really interesting question.
Oh, yeah. What was it?
How is ECE going to
adapt to meet the needs of future generations?
Because the kids being born today are going to be facing
a whole different world
than we did.
And we can even imagine.
So
how do we prepare them?
How do we make sure
ECE is evolving?
Right.
To keep up with the times.
That's a big one.
It is.
We need to be thinking about how to use new technologies thoughtfully.
Not just throwing tech at kids, but using it intentionally.
To help them learn.
Exactly. Those 21st century skills.
Right, like critical thinking.
Creativity. Adaptability.
Adaptability.
All of those.
Also important.
Because it's not enough anymore.
No.
To just memorize facts.
The world is changing too fast.
You need to be able to
learn and adapt.
Be lifelong learners.
That's the key.
So as you go about your day today, think about this.
Okay, I'm listening.
How can we make sure
early childhood education is preparing children not just for the world as we know it, but for a future full of possibility.
A future we can't even imagine.
And one that's going to require them to be adaptable and resilient and creative.
Absolutely.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.
It was my pleasure.
We'll see you next time.
See you later.